Okay, in today's video, I got a pile of pretty cool stuff that I paid $70 for. So this estate sale had a lot of tools, but a lot of other stuff. I believe the folks were actually downsizing and they moved and they were selling stuff. And I actually ran into the son who was kind of, I guess, the one overseeing everything. And he said to me, "Hey, we took a lot of tools out of here. What did you think about the tools you got?" And I said, "Hey, I got some great stuff here. And I'm happy to own them." And he said, my dad would just go to hardware stores and buy stuff. He's like, we couldn't give the amount of stuff away that he had. So we kind of chuckled about that. And I'm hoping I know I got my $70 worth, but I'm hoping I really exceeded it because my wife bought a bunch of items and they were nice things. She got some planners and she got this beautiful table, antique table. But yeah, she definitely paid on the higher end. So I'm hoping to make up for that with my $70 haul. So like I do with many of these is what I'll do is just break it down little by little, lay it out, and that usually makes it go a little bit faster and we can get a pretty good look at the stuff. So the first thing I'm going to break down is this tote of stuff that mostly came out of the garage. And if you know my tips and tricks when you're at an estate sale is always try to find something to bundle your stuff into. And I found this nice old Rubbermaid container. It actually has a year on it of 1991. It's a little beat up. It still works really well. So that was basically free. And let me break this down and show you what's in here. All right, so bear with me. I laid everything out. I'm going to try to go through this as fast as I can. I got some really cool stuff to show you today. So a lot of great stuff in that other bag too. But I just wanted to start with this here, which is liquid wrench. I mean, the guy loved liquid wrench. You know, this stuff I used to use years and years ago, and then I got away from it just because there's so many other products out there. But this stuff's $7-8 a pop. And there's a good amount of it there. So got a bunch of those. Some nice stocking stuffers for everybody this year. And then liquid wrench spray in a can. So this guy really believed in liquid wrench. Some white lube. And I like this for a couple reasons. I love the old packaging. I love the old branding. One of them's used, so if I want to use it, I'll use that one. This one is actually been never used, and I think I'll keep it that way. I don't think I'll ever open this up. I'll clean it up, keep the box out of sunlight, and just preserve a piece of history. Look how cool that is. Let's keep getting some of the big stuff out of the way here. So look at this. Pony clamp, made in the USA. And this came from a store called Rickles, and it was $5.49. Rickles went out of business about 25 plus years ago. Look at the size of this thing. It's a monster clamp. And I was curious because I always like to say, well, that cost $5-6, 25, 30 years ago. What would they cost now? And they cost about $8 or $9 now, but made in China. Pony, as I believe, is owned by that Great Star, which bought SK. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's who bought Pony and is now made in China. So I wish I had two of them because I like the clamps in pairs, but hey, I got one really nice big old Pony clamp. I got more of these you'll see from the basement in that bag full of tools, but this is just a nice brush with a handle on it, 3/4 inch, a cleaning out pipe and so forth. I love this. This is those are the type of things that sometimes I just get excited about. And then whenever, just a tire pressure gauge, right? Well, try to find one of these that's made in the USA now. It's a Milton, made in the USA. Very good quality. And that's why I grabbed that. Everything I probably have one or two other ones like that, but a lot of them are China or Taiwan or something like that. This is Tapcon. This comes in a kit, and it's for those, driving those Tapcon type screws in the concrete and so forth. This is the only piece I could find that. I don't know if I'll ever use that or what the deal is with that. Just a piece of single hardware there. This has some nice value to it. This is a sailor's tool, I believe this is, and it's got the spike on it for opening the knots, and then it's just never been used. I mean, look at the blade on that. It is pristine, sharp as can be, brand new, and had the string on it. I guess you'd wear around your neck so you wouldn't lose it. It has an engraving on it from Bravo, 1983, RLIR. So that, if I did want to take it off, I could. I don't think I would want to. I could just easily take that off probably with the fiber wheel. But they're getting $25+ for this. But I think I'm going to hang on to that. I think that is neat. Get this big item out of the way. This is a 100-foot chameleon landscaping tape measure. Don't have one like this. This is great for when you're doing projects outside. Instead of using a tape measure, this nice fiberglass tape lays down along the floor. I was curious what they're getting for these days. You could still find this brand Chameleon, but I believe they are no longer made in the USA like this was, and they're getting $20-25 for these. So I thought that was good, and that's one of those things you're definitely going to use if you have. You'll improvise if you don't, but if you have it, you'll use it. Look at these beauties. These are huge. I mean, these are... Does it say how long they are? It doesn't. It just says long shank bit. These are from the late 90s, $9.49. And on the back, it has the year on it, 1998, made in the USA. And these are two huge drill bits. They're about, I don't know, 18 inches long. And back then, they cost $10. Once again, Irwin is this one. This one, I'm not sure the brand, but both made in the USA, obviously no longer. But those, you know, once again, are items that when you have them, you'll be glad that you have them. This is a plug tap, you know, nice big plug. I don't know if this was for, it was in the garage, maybe an oil plug. You know, just to clean out the threads after an oil change. But that's you know, definitely got some value to it. This is something I've been looking for a long time. And these are stamping tools made in Taiwan. It says a suggested retail of $25, probably 25 years ago. And it's got the whole alphabet in it. So if you wanted to stamp something, wood, steel, you can do that with the stamping set. And then this one is the numbers. So it's got 1 through 9. Not sure what I would do if I had to make the number 10. But I've been looking for something like this for a while, so I was glad to grab those as well. Look at this pair of mini type of cutters. I mean, the tips on them are just beautiful. And it says Diamond Dimaloy. So I'm assuming this is Diamond brand, and these would just clean up absolutely beautiful. I don't think they were ever used. I think just the hardened steel rusted up on them. And then these, same, look at this. This is a nice pair of shears for the garden. Look at the ornate. I mean, these are great. When you find these, 9 out of 10 times, this little clasp back here is broken that holds them together. Look at the teeth on it. Look at those cutting blades. I call them teeth, but cutting blades. They are just pristine. Obviously, it's a little crunchy in here because it needs oil, but this can all come apart and be cleaned up so nice. I couldn't find any marks on it to see who made it. I'm sure if I cleaned it up, I might be able to see something on that. And just a couple of other things here. Can never have enough cotter pins, right? I mean, that's just great. That will come in handy. Picked up some solder. I think this stuff's gone up a lot. I think it's not too cheap. So this is a heavy, almost full roll. I love the old branding too, as you guys know. I got some thin ones and I got some larger type soldering wire. So, you know, I figured, hey, I have enough for a lifetime there. Just a random tap here. Lighting hardware. How many times you're changing lighting fixtures, and a lot of times these little things are broken or rusted, or these are those little, like, kind of, I don't know, you call them like a flange type nut, and sometimes I think they even cut plastic. So that'll be great to go into the electric drawer when you're doing electrical work. And then this, I don't know what the heck this is, an IPS wrench. And looks like, it says it's helpful for removing chrome nipples, especially helpful in removing broken nipples. Must be something for plumbing. There's 2 of them here. Have to figure out what that is. Just an old Wonder Bar, and that is an old funnel. So let me show you the other stuff I got. There's just tons more, and it's really some nice stuff. Okay, going to get a couple of more of the larger items out of the way. This is a 1-gallon gas can, and made in the USA, but what's most important about this, it is just a regular old spout. None of the regulations that, the state imposed that seems to want to tell us that they figured out a better spout, which I can't figure out and I think makes more of a mess and is not a safety cap by any means. There are a few states, I believe, that did not use government overreach and tell people what type of spout they could use, but unfortunately I live in a state that tells you what color socks you got to wear. So I'm really glad to own one of those. Here is a Craftsman Handy Cut. I was so excited when I found this because the blade says made in the USA, but actually after further inspection it says the body's made in China. And when I looked online, they're getting $25, $30 for these if they're made in the USA. I plan on keeping it. It seems to work really well. The blades are super sharp. It's got all the brand new blades, so a complete 2 sets of extra blades in there, or it might even be 3 blades in there. And this is for cutting tubing and hose. That's a great find. This here is, I think, a great find. This is a vice grip made in the USA. So this is the Nebraska stuff. And this is a chain wrench, right? So I think a lot of you know how this works. You just kind of put in the size that you need. You clamp it down. Well, you'd have to do it the other way, but trying to do this on camera is a little tough. Let's see. There it is, like that. So then you get it to the size of the pipe you need, and that is a nice find. Not super valuable. They're selling for 15, 20 bucks, but I'm going to clean this up since I don't have one and keep that. Router bit case. I love the old, just the vintage, new old stock, no UPC on it. Date on it goes from, looks like 84. And this is just a cool little thing because if it holds up, I could put all my router bits in it. Look at that. You come across, or you can take it out and use it like that on the top. So great find. Let me keep unloading this bag. I'm going to lay it all out to move through it pretty quick. There's a lot of fun stuff in here. So like I mentioned, there is tons of awesome stuff that was in that bag, and there's even some more that's not on the top of the toolbox here. But let me show you some of these awesome goodies. I mean, how about this? Almost complete. Little, it's always stinks. It looks like I'm missing 2 screwdrivers here, but these are some vintage Craftsman professional micro screwdrivers. It's got the Torx. It's got your regular screwdrivers. What I found interesting, though, these were not made in the USA. These were actually made in France. So I'm wondering if these were made by Facom when they were making screwdrivers for SK. And I tell you, I got some of the SK ones that were made in France, and they were great quality. So almost a complete set. I was a little disappointed. I was hoping it was complete. And then look at this beautiful, almost new old stock punch, chisel, lineup tool set. Brand new. These got the WF on them. Obviously made by Western Forge. Tells you a lot when you don't see a barcode. You could really kind of start to date these things back to probably the early 80s. And you could always tell by the logos that Sears used. So that I think I'm just going to leave kind of as is. I have these multiples, but not in the package like that. So I think I'm going to just kind of keep that for collecting or leave it in the drawer with my punch and chisels. And this is a beauty. Look at this. This is a Craftsman push drill. Very similar to you've seen in the past. I've done a lot of push drills in the past. And look, this is like an alloy. This is like a really nice hard plastic. Look at this. Brand new. I don't think this thing was ever even used. I mean, the bits are pristine that are in there. So this, I think, has got some good value to it. Really well made. Really nice. So I'm thinking that's probably a $25 item pretty easily if I choose to sell it. Next up, I just get some of these little things out of the way. Just a bunch of deburring tools. I think those are always great to have and are neat. Then these here, I was just so happy when I saw these because I had bought a set of these recently working on some woodworking projects to countersink, and they were cheap ones I bought, probably made in China or Taiwan. These are some nice old Stanley ones, and these aren't cheap. When I looked to buy these new, I was looking at the Irwin ones and they were expensive. So glad I got those for not a lot of money. A lot of nice drill bits you'll see as I go through here. Look at this, 4 Lennox Pilot drill bits, made in the USA, 1/4-inch drive, new old stock. Those got to have some good value to them. Just a feeler gauge here, OEM tools. Getting some of this stuff out of the way here. Just some really, I have one of these sanders, so just having the exact size paper with the adhesion is great. Just, you know, these are the type of things that come in handy. These aren't cheap. If you need to buy a sander like this, they cost probably $3, $4, $5, and when you could grab them up. I love this screwdriver. Take a look at this. This is a Husky. Looks like it's made in the USA, probably Western Forge. It doesn't say USA on it, but what's cool about this is that pulls out and it can become a T-handle like that, and you could use it as such. It's got a couple of bits in the handle. I think it might be missing a couple too, but it's got the ones you need, the Phillips and the slotted, and it's a little bit shorter than the traditional ones that you come across. So I thought that was a neat find. And then how about this SK, right? 1/4-inch spinner, and you'll see I got some more SK stuff in this haul as well. This will clean up like new and end up in a socket set. And then I saw this and I'm like, oh, an SK, nice. And it's got the Torx, but nope, it's a Bondhaus. So here's my SK one. It is almost identical. So I think it's safe to say that Bondhaus was, which is really quality stuff, is, you know, packaging stuff for a rebranding, I should say, for SK. Got a Purdy brand new paintbrush. These are $15 all day long. If you're going to do painting, you have to use Purdy. Absolutely a great brand. And when you're going to paint yourself, don't use cheap products. I love these old Stanley handles. Just something about them are fantastic. This is just a tack puller, and that'll clean up really nice on the fiber wheel and put that back into service. And then here's an Irwin little mini Phillips, and I love the handle on that pocket screwdriver, and that is in really nice shape. And I think I actually have the flat over here as well. And here that is. This is the flat pocket screwdriver. So a set of Irwin pocket screwdrivers. Clean these up on their fiber wheel. Really nice piece of history. Next up, check out this item. Have you ever seen one of these? This is called a SKEW, SKEW driver, and it's an offset screwdriver. Look at this. How cool is that? It's got all the original bits in here. If you got to get into a tight spot, I thought that was just so neat. I don't think I've ever seen one of these before. I looked online. They have some that are actually look like they're better made. Same company. They look like they're a little bit more heavy duty. They call them professional, and they're going for $25+. So I thought that was awesome, and that'll go into the collection as well. Just some sockets here. Nothing here that's super exciting, just USA made ones, but there's one in here that's pretty cool. This is just an SK, a 13/16 deep socket, just some USA made deep sockets. But this is a socket I've been on the lookout for a while. Missing the 3H drive 15/16 in my set. Would have preferred for it to be 6-point, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. Not my favorite Craftsman sockets that just had the laser etching in them. No branding or imprinting, I should say, around this. So when this wears off, you're kind of hosed. These are definitely the cheaper ones, but it'll do until I can find a nicer upgraded one. Most of them are deep sockets that are Craftsman like this are the V series and are pretty nice, but I was really glad I found that because I've been looking for these, and they're getting $15, $20 for them because they're a little bit harder to find. Always wanted a pair of these. These are the Channel Locks snap ring pliers, but with a flip of a switch, they can do internal and external. You got to get them to engage. So really excited. There it is. To own these, need a quick cleanup. Had some tips in it. I do have the replacement tips. Bought them a while ago. You could buy them for $5 or so. So these are, you know, I never bought because they go for $25, $30. And I had snap ring pliers that would do, but now I got the ones I always wanted to go in with my other snap ring pliers. These, I'm assuming, are some sort of reamers Not 100% sure. Maybe for pipe, just kind of deburring. It looks like, it says Orbit on the end of it. It looks like this one has a replacement tip or a different size tip. So I'm not 100% sure about those. This is for splitting nuts, as I'm sure you're aware. This is a larger one. I don't think I had one this big, so glad to own that. Got some real gems over here. For you guys that know push drills, these are not cheap. These are some expensive items right here. These bits cost way more than the actual push drills. I think I shared with you. 357 Mad gave me that education years ago when I got my first push drill. He said, Tom, always look for the bits, look for the bits. And look at this. I mean, this is a complete set. It looks like it might have been taped closed. But these, these are $25 easy for this set. And then it looks like there's some here, different kinds in there. So this was a really nice find. And then I found some of these valve extensions. I think I got another one over there in the pile as well. And the reason I got these is I wanted to do something with WD-40. When the can runs out of air, you could actually refill them. You pull the top off, you got that little stem on there, you put this on top, and you can pump a little bit of air back into this. I saw a video on that not too long ago, and I said, next time I got to get some valve stems so I'm ready to do that. Sure enough, I found a few. Next up is just this USA made pair of, I guess you would call them, I want to call them water pump pliers or channel lock pliers, but they're not. They're pipe pliers, I guess. They say made in the USA on them. I like the way the design is. It's a little bit more forward facing. I just know type of branding on it to know who the maker was, but these handles might give it away if somebody knows, and I'll clean those up. That looks like a nice pair of USA made pliers. Here is just an unbranded pair of vice grip type pliers. I was kind of intrigued by the style of this one, so not 100% sure what I'll be using it for, but I figured it could come in handy someday. I'm sure this was probably used for some sort of welding or something like that. More of these brushes with the handles on them. How nice are they? When you have to clean something, when you got a good handle like that, these are all carbon steel, cleaning out pipe and so forth. USA made monkey wrench. Have to really take a close look to see if who the maker was on this, but it's a 10-inch monkey wrench and the teeth on it were in great shape. Got a whole bunch of ratchets here. The first one is just this Taiwan flex head, and it's got a soft grip on it. It's gonna need a little oil, but that's a pretty nice little ratchet. And then I got a bunch of these other ratchets, and you might be like, hey, they look like some cheesy ratchets, and they kind of are. They're these kind of gimmicky things, but they're super fine tooth. They're flexible. Oh, they're lockable flex heads, and they're actually made in Taiwan. Right? And they're the lockable flex heads, and they're really, after I played with them a little bit, I said, hey, they're going to probably cost me $1 or so. I'm going to grab them. So I got 3 of them. I got the complete set. Some of them look like they were really never used. So who knows? These are great to have like in a car or, somewhere that, you just want to have extra ratchets and not worry if they get lost or stolen or rusted. And they seem to work pretty good. They're pretty well made. Who knows? They're probably made in a factory where they make a lot of other Taiwan type pretty quality ratchets. My goodness, I told you I got a lot of stuff here. This is an item I'm not too familiar with either. This is a Channel Locks 907. It's got a drive on it for a 3/8 drive ratchet, and it's some sort of like chuck that would hold a drill bit. So I'm not 100% sure what this would be used for. It says Channel Lock 906. So that's the one I'm curious to learn and find more about. If you know about that, let me know. Some nice sockets here, right? I mean, look at these beauties. SK got pretty much a complete set of SAE up to 7/16 it looks like here, deep sockets, and then got some miscellaneous ones on here, mostly ESCO. And these, I love ESCO. They make good stuff. It looks like there's an SK on there as well. And then over here, I got a Stanley set made in the USA, and these are metric, and it goes from 10 millimeter up to 17. It skips 16. I think it probably skipped 16 because it didn't come with a 16. I don't think it's missing. So that's kind of cool. And then look at this little thing. This goes on, it says Sears on it, and this goes on your ratchet. So if you wanted to make it kind of a thumb drive, which I really do like thumb drive ratchets. So it's a couple of really nice sockets there, and some more extensions here, all USA made. This is an SK, 1/4 inch. I think we got an ESCO and another SK maybe. So really nice ratchets, sockets, extensions. I'm losing my mind here. Got so much stuff here. And a couple of more SK sockets. All right, let's keep moving through. All right, Stanley. I thought these would be USA made because they looked older to me, but they actually say Japan on the back of them. So this one's a really nice size though. Those will clean up nice. And then, not a complete set, but V-Series, nut drivers, SAE in really great shape. Couldn't pass those up. USA made chisels. You got Stanley. I love that old Stanley design. Obviously made in the USA. And this one is a Buck Brothers, and that's USA made as well. Look how nice this Klein 1/4 inch drive, little stubby nut driver is. I thought that was just awesome. Well, looks like it's got some cracks on it. This may be leaking. We'll have to test this out. But this is, you know, just a little bit of a siphon to pull stuff out or deliver fluid. USA made, wood handled, Stanley all. I really love those when I could get them in great shape. Got some assorted air tools and chucks assorted, but this is one that I really liked. This reminded me of the one we used to use in the shop to clean all the parts off. It has that kind of button like that. So when I saw that, I said, I gotta grab that. I don't have one that currently looks like that. That's kind of the older style. Now they're more, have that lever on top. I really like this one with the button on top. Look at all this new old stock I got here. Beautiful saber saw blades. I mean, beautiful. All made in the USA vintage stuff. So I don't know, maybe I'll sell some of this on eBay, or who knows if I do a tool swap meet or something like that. These were made by Vermont America, was my guess, and they would probably said Craftsman on them. They probably rebranded for Craftsman with a sticker on them. Almost brand new, nice USA made drill bits. But this one I really liked because I got a million regular drill bits. This was a nice set of USA made masonry bits, never used. So those gotta have some decent value to them, and just tons of drills. I mean, nice drills too. That's why I grabbed them. Like, look at these Hansons. Beautiful, beautiful, like new, all USA made. I got masonry ones and all sorts of drills in there. And then just moving over to here, just taking a quick look of other type of hole saws. And the reason I grabbed these, I really like when I could get the attachment pieces. Sometimes you come across a lot of the hole saws, but you don't get the actual bit that they attach to. So I was able to grab those. This is like kind of a countersink type drill bit. So just a nice inspection tool. And that's a Mira. And this is actually made in the USA, extendable. And I thought that was pretty cool. And last couple of items finally. I wanted to show this earlier. This is a Vermont American, and what I like about this hacksaw blade is that it is a 10-inch, and I sometimes find in those smaller ones are a little bit more tricky in the new old stock. And then how about this screwdriver? Nothing fancy, but I thought it was pretty cool that it said Xerox. Who knows, maybe it came with a Xerox machine to do some adjustments or something. I don't think they were ever in the tool business. And then finally, I saw these two things on the shelf there, and I was bundling, and I said, what the heck? I took a peek in there, and they looked like they were new old stock. They were packaged up, both of them. These are torque wrenches. They were in there, the packaging. They look like they were never used. Both of them had the packaging on them. And here they are. They're made in Taiwan. They're nothing super fancy, but they're click-style torque wrenches. Sounds like it's halfway decent from a smoothness. Listen to that. I mean, it's kind of a fine tooth. It's a click-style torque wrench. It's very generic, though. It has no markings on it. Maybe these were imported and sold to hardware stores, because this is what, both of them came with, just this general basic type of packaging. You have no idea where they were produced. This was interesting. This one is
3/8 drive as well. I thought one might have been a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch, but I don't know why he had two of this. You know, they're a little different though. This one has a different piece on the back, but they look like for sure they both came out of the same factory. See how that's a little bit different there versus the one with 3 pieces on it. Otherwise, I mean, they look like they're basically the same exact torque wrench. The instructions are very similar. And I don't know. I guess I might end up keeping one. I don't have a good torque. I don't have a torque wrench in general. I know these aren't super valuable. Obviously, the made in Taiwan ones are, you know, just you could find them pretty reasonable everywhere. You could buy the Chinese ones at Harbor Freight for $15, and I'm assuming that's probably all these are worth. But hey, you know, I'll test them out and see how they do. Let's wrap this video up. All right, one last look at everything. This was my $70 haul. I think I did pretty well. I don't know if I did enough to offset the retail prices my wife paid, but that's okay. Let's take one last look at everything. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.